CDL Practice Test, Illinois. General Knowledge, Part 3. Question number 51. The formula for stopping distance with air brakes is A. Reaction distance and effective braking distance. B. Perception distance and effective braking distance. C. Perception distance, reaction distance, brake lag distance, and effective braking distance. The correct answers here: C. Perception distance, reaction distance, brake lag distance, and effective braking distance. Explanation. Perception distance and reaction distance and brake lag distance and braking distance equals total stopping distance. Question number 52. A major cause of fatal crashes is A. Poorly adjusted brakes. B. Driving too fast for road conditions. C. Overinflated tires. The correct answers here: B. Driving too fast for road conditions. Explanation. Always adjust your speed to fit current driving conditions including weather, visibility, tire traction, curves, and hills. In practice, this will sometimes mean driving at well below the posted speed limit. Question number 53. What is the restriction code on a CDL for not passing the air brakes knowledge test? A. AB. B. NB. C. I. D. L. The correct answers here: D. L. Explanation. The restriction code for air brakes is L. If the driver does not pass the air brakes knowledge test, does not correctly identify the air brake system components, does not properly conduct an air brake systems check, or does not take the skills test in a vehicle with a full air brake system, the driver must have an L, no full air brake, restriction placed on his or her license, retrieved from https://www.fmcsa.dot.gov/registration/commercial-drivers-license/drivers. Question number 54. If you have a heavy load that is slowing you down on an upgrade, you should A. Shift into a lower gear. B. Exit the roadway until traffic is lighter. C. Drive on the shoulder so that others can pass you easily. The correct answers here: A. Shift into a lower gear. Explanation. Trucks with heavy loads are often slower when going uphill. In this situation, keep right and shift into a lower gear for more torque if possible. Question number 55. Which of the following is true about a vehicle with a high center of gravity? A. The vehicle is less dangerous on curves. B. The vehicle is less likely to tip over. C. The cargo should be rearranged so that the heaviest parts of the cargo are under the lightest parts. The correct answers here: C. The cargo should be rearranged so that the heaviest parts of the cargo are under the lightest parts. Explanation. Cargo that is piled up high raises a vehicle's center of gravity, making the vehicle top heavy and therefore more prone to rollovers. This is especially true if the heaviest parts of the cargo are near the top. You can lower the center of gravity by placing the heaviest parts of the cargo underneath the lightest parts. Question number 56. When should retarder brakes be turned off? A. Retarder brakes should never be turned off. B. Retarder brakes should be turned off when driving in stop and go traffic. C. Retarder brakes should be turned off when driving on the highway. D. On wet, icy, or snow-covered roads. The correct answer is D. On wet, icy, or snow-covered roads. Explanation. Retarder brakes should be turned off when the roads are wet, icy, or covered in snow because slippery road conditions can cause your drive wheels to skid. Question number 57. When looking ahead of your vehicle while you are driving, you should look A. to the right side of the road, B. as far as your peripheral vision can see, C. back and forth, near and far. The correct answer is C. back and forth, near and far. Explanation. When driving your vehicle, look ahead a full 12-15 seconds. Be aware of what is happening all around your vehicle, both farther from it and closer to it. Keep shifting your attention back and forth, near and far, left and right, so that you can constantly scan all these areas. Question number 58. Which of these describes how you should use the brake pedal on a steep downhill grade? A. Apply stronger pressure as the vehicle goes downhill. B. Apply light, steady pressure. C. Release the brake when you are 5 miles per hour below your safe speed and let your speed come back up to your safe speed, then repeat braking to 5 miles per hour below your safe speed. The correct answer is C. Release the brake when you are 5 miles per hour below your safe speed and let your speed come back up to your safe speed, then repeat braking to 5 miles per hour below your safe speed. Explanation. On a long or steep downgrade, don't keep applying your brakes continuously because this might cause them to fade, become less effective. Instead, apply your brakes only as a supplement to engine braking. Use the following technique. Select a safe speed. Let your vehicle reach this speed. Brake just hard enough until you are going 5 miles per hour slower. Then let your speed increase back to the safe speed. Keep varying your speed up and down this way. This technique is known as snub braking or snubbing. Question number 59. Which of these statements is true about speed management? A. On slippery roads, it takes longer to stop and it is harder to turn without skidding. B. Shady parts of the road allow better traction than open areas. C. Road surfaces will freeze before bridges. The correct answer is A. On slippery roads, it takes longer to stop and it is harder to turn without skidding. Explanation. Slippery roads provide less traction. Your vehicle's braking distance will increase, especially on a road covered in snow or ice, and turns will be more likely to cause skids. For safety, reduce your speed by about 1/3 on a wet road or about 1/2 on a snow-covered road. On an ice-covered road, slow down to a crawl and consider stopping altogether. Question number 60. Which of the following statements about backing is true? A. Backing is always dangerous. B. You should back and turn toward the driver's side whenever possible. C. Both of the above are true. The correct answer is C. Both of the above are true. Explanation. Because of the limited visibility, avoid backing up whenever possible. If you must back your vehicle, back toward the driver's side. You'll be able to watch the rear of your vehicle from your driver's side window. Also use a helper if possible. The helper can stand near the rear of your vehicle and keep an eye on your blind spots. He or she can signal you to stop before an accident can occur. Question number 61. The total weight of the powered unit, the trailer, and the cargo is called A. Gross combination weight, B. Gross axle weight, C. Gross vehicle weight. The correct answers here. A. Gross combination weight. Explanation. The gross combination weight is the sum of the gross vehicle weight, GVW, of the power unit and the GVW of each towed unit. A vehicle's GVW is its weight when fully loaded. Question number 62. You should schedule your driving, A. between the hours of 4 AM and 6 PM, B. for the hours you are normally awake, C. between the hours of 10 AM and midnight. The correct answers here, B. for the hours you are normally awake. Explanation. To help prevent drowsiness while driving, schedule your trips for the hours during which you are normally awake, not the middle of the night. Get plenty of sleep, 8-9 hours, before each trip. Question number 63. With a back of, most people lose consciousness, and some die. A. 0.1, B. 0.4, C. 0.16. The correct answers here, B. 0.4. Explanation. Most people with a back of 0.40% will pass out, some will die. Question number 64. You are driving a truck with a manual transmission. While driving on an uphill grade, you have to stop the truck on the shoulder. Which of these is a good rule to follow when putting it back in motion up the grade? A. Decelerate smoothly. B. Let the vehicle roll straight backward a few feet before you engage the clutch. C. Use the parking brake to hold the vehicle until the clutch engages. The correct answers here, C. Use the parking brake to hold the vehicle until the clutch engages. Explanation. When you start your vehicle, avoid rolling backward or else you may hit someone behind you. Set the parking brake whenever necessary to keep from rolling back. Release the parking brake only when you have applied enough engine power to keep from rolling back. If you have a manual transmission vehicle, partly engage the clutch before you take your right foot off the brake. On a tractor trailer equipped with a trailer brake hand valve, the hand valve can be applied to keep from rolling back. Question number 65. No matter how small the cargo is, it should have at least A. 2 tie-downs, B. 1 tie-down, C. 6 tie-downs. The correct answers here, A. 2 tie-downs. Explanation. The rule is 1 tie-down for every 10 feet of cargo, but at least 2 tie-downs regardless of how small the cargo is. Question number 66. When should you wear seatbelts? A. Only in states where it is required by law. B. Only when traveling on a highway. C. Anytime you are in a moving vehicle. The correct answers here, C. Anytime you are in a moving vehicle. Explanation. Use your seatbelt. The driver's seat should have a seatbelt. Always use it for safety. Question number 67. If you do not have a CB radio, what is the first thing you should do at an accident scene? A. Clear the area. B. Protect the accident scene. C. Flag down help. The correct answer here, B. Protect the accident scene. Explanation. At an accident scene, first protect the accident scene to help prevent another accident. Pull your vehicle as far away from traffic and as close to the side of the road as possible. Set out warning devices such as reflective triangles. Question number 68. Which of these is not a cause of skidding? A. Overbraking. B. Oversteering. C. Driving too quickly for road conditions. D. Turning round a sharp corner. The correct answer here, D. Turning round a sharp corner. Explanation. Over-acceleration, overbraking, and oversteering all cause skidding. Turning round a sharp corner, however, does not. Question number 69. Containerized loads. A. Do not need to be inspected or secured by the driver. B. Should come with their own tie-down devices. C. Are typically used for freight carried partway by rail or ship. The correct answer here, C. Are typically used for freight carried partway by rail or ship. Explanation. Containerized loads usually travel partway by rail or ship. They are transported by truck at the start or toward the end of their journey. Containerized loads are sealed. Usually, you are not allowed to break the seals to inspect them. However, you are responsible for ensuring that the load is secured on your vehicle and it won't cause your vehicle to exceed gross weight or axle weight limits. Question number 70. Inspect your cargo after you have driven. A. 25 miles. B. 100 miles. C. No answers are correct. D. 50 miles. The correct answer here, D. 50 miles. Explanation. Inspect the cargo and its securing devices within the first 50 miles after beginning a trip. Make any adjustments needed. Question number 71. Which of these statements about certain types of cargo is true? A. Oversized loads can be hauled without special permits during daylight hours. B. When liquids are hauled, the tank should always be loaded completely full. C. Unstable loads such as hanging meat or livestock require extra caution on curves. The correct answer here, C. Unstable loads such as hanging meat or livestock require extra caution on curves. Explanation. If you're carrying a cargo of livestock or hanging meat, slow down on curves and proceed with extreme caution. A cargo of hanging meat typically has a high center of gravity. Plus, hanging meat sways significantly when you're driving on a curve, making for a very unstable load. Livestock can move around or lean on curves, adversely affecting your vehicle's stability and making a rollover more likely. Question number 72. Which of these statements about accelerating is true? A. When traction is poor, more power should be applied to the accelerator. B. Rough acceleration can cause mechanical damage. C. You should feel a jerking motion if you are accelerating your vehicle properly. The correct answer is here. B. Rough acceleration can cause mechanical damage. Explanation. From a stopped position, accelerate smoothly and gradually. Jerking forward or rough acceleration can cause mechanical damage, possibly including damage to the coupling if you're pulling a trailer. Question number 73. What is the best way to know what another driver is doing? A. Watch the driver's head and body movements. B. Watch the rear lights of the driver's vehicle. C. Watch the speed of the driver's vehicle. D. Guess what you would do in that driver's situation. The correct answer is here. A. Watch the driver's head and body movements. Explanation. Drivers may forget to signal, but they rarely fail to look where they are going. If you're close enough to observe another driver's head and body movements, you may pick up valuable clues about the driver's next action. Question number 74. Which of the following is an incorrect definition? A. Impaired drivers, drivers who are sleepy, under the influence of drugs, or had too much to drink. B. Distracted driver, drivers whose attention is not on the road. C. Slow drivers, drivers who are unable to drive at a normal speed and are a hazard as a result. D. Confused drivers, drivers who don't understand how to drive a vehicle. The correct answer is here. D. Confused drivers, drivers who don't understand how to drive a vehicle. Explanation. Although they are still a hazard, confused drivers will generally know how to drive their vehicle. They may not, however, be aware of the local area or where to go and may hesitate as a result. Question number 75. When driving a commercial vehicle with a height over 13 feet, you should A. Assume all clearances are high enough. B. Stop and make sure if you aren't certain that a clearance is high enough. C. Not worry about the height clearance as long as you stay on state or federal highways. The correct answer is here. B. Stop and make sure if you aren't certain that a clearance is high enough. Explanation. Don't try to drive your CMV under a bridge or overpass unless you're sure you have enough vertical clearance. Some CMVs are more than 13 feet tall. Many western states allow CMVs to be even taller. Always know the height of the vehicle you're driving, but be aware that once unloaded, the height of your vehicle may increase.